Hello everyone, Artemu the Violet Wizard here, and today we are continuing Chrono Trigger. Last time, we made our way to the Kingdom of Zeal, an area where people had attuned to the power of magic and built an advanced civilization. However, we discovered that the queen of this land had become corrupted by the power of Lavos and seeks to control it. And for trying to interfere with her, we were banished from the Kingdom of Zeal after Shala was forced to erect a barrier to prevent us from accessing the time gate leading into that time period. However, we were able to venture into the far-off future, where we were able to discover the Guru Belphazar had constructed for us a time machine called the Epoch before his death, allowing us to be able to travel through time freely without the use of a time gate. So now that we have this, we have the ability to return back to the Kingdom of Zeal to put an end to the Queen's wicked plans. But before we do that, there is some other stuff that's available to us that I would like to do, which is why we are back here in the year 600. So, in the last session, we were able to empower the pendant that our friend Marl started this adventure with, using the power of the Mammon machine, which drains the energy from Lavos. And so, with the pendant powered up, we were able to gain the ability to unseal certain doors. But that's not the only use for this item, as we are going to see here in this session. So, all throughout this adventure, we found various black boxes that we could not open. But now that we have the pendant, we are finally able to open them. This box has been handed out for generations. Should you somehow manage to open it, you're welcome to the contents. The item inside is reacting to the pendant. Remove the item. We are not going to do that right away. So, the mechanic here with the sealed chests, you will find these items all throughout the year 600 AD, as well as in 1000 AD. However, there's a specific thing you want to do with regards to these boxes. They do contain good items inside them, but if you access them in a specific way, you can basically upgrade the item inside the box. And in order to do that process, you need to unseal the box in the year 600, do not open it right away, and then go to the year 1000 in order to actually open it, as that will get you the better item inside. And the first of those chests we could get inside Truce Inn, which is why we went over there first. And the next one we can grab is over here in Guardia Forest. We got a speed capsule from that. I guess that is... Alright, I think that's the only thing we could have gotten from that particular box, so I'm not too worried about this. Alright, for current party, yeah, let's get Luca some more speed, since she's one of our main spellcasters. So, for the next of these chests we want to go to, we need to return to Guardia Castle. So last time we were here, things were pretty dour, as the king had been injured in battle against Magus' forces. But it seems like things are good now. You served us victory! I but cooked the meal! And speaking of cooking, I've a mind to prepare a victory feast! Something truly spectacular to celebrate the Fiend Lord's defeat! Our victory is owed to you! I'll see that generations to come know the name of Hayden! You're alive! We sustained heavy casualties, but thanks to you, our battle is won. Now we must all work together to rebuild. If there's ever any way this kingdom might repay its debt to you, I shall see it done. Good to see you're in good spirits, sir. I don't know what words of gratitude could possibly suffice for all you've done. Wart, where is Wart? Hang on, let me get him in the party. Wart,
So you aided Hayden and the others. You've done a fine service for this kingdom. Please, remain here for as long as you wish. We would be honored by your presence.
Your kind words are reward enough, Your Majesty. My heart is glad to hear them. It is very sweet to hear that the Queen is in a good standing with Frog, and that the two clearly care for each other. I don't know, part of me suspects that these two were intended to be a couple at one point, but the Queen was chosen in order to marry into the Guardia royal family, and so that put an end to what could have possibly happened with the two. But they still remain friends even to this day. And it's just very good to see how much that Glenn truly cares about the Queen and her well-being after all this time. But yep, the main reason we want to return to the castle, besides checking up on everyone, was to unseal that chest. So now that we've taken care of that, we should be able to get a nice reward if we return to the future. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is head to the town of Poor. Yeah, I have some notes with me on standby just to make sure I can get through this whole sequence. We want to head over to the Elder's house, because we have 2 boxes over here that we can unseal. So definitely want to take care of that. We're just going to let those 2 be. And now that we're through with that... Alright, one of the other areas that we can access, we're not going to be able to go there until a bit later, I believe. So not until we've managed to reach a certain other area of the game. However, we should be able to get a box over here at the Magic Cave. There is no real reason for us to return to the Fiend Lord's Keep, but you're able to come back here in order to get a magic ring. So that, I believe, is an accessory that increases magic by 6. Ooh, that is really good. It's definitely an upgrade over the magic scarf that we had before. So I'm going to go ahead and equip that to Luca. Give you some more firepower. But yeah, if you missed anything back at the Fiend Lord's Keep, I could recommend going back there to try and get it. But we don't need to worry about that at the moment. So, for the other stuff we could get here in this year, there is one other area that we currently don't have access to, so we're not going to worry about that. Also, I want to show that over here we have this new area available to us, the Sunken Desert. So I believe this opens up after you've visited the Kingdom of Zeal, but we are not going to be going there at the moment, as... that is going to be tied to something I want to do a little bit later on in the adventure. And for anyone who's familiar with this game, you probably know why. So the next thing I want to do, now that we have unsealed some of the chests, we want to head back to the present day. And now that we have taken care of that, we are going to want to head back to the areas where we unsealed some of these boxes. So we can return to the mayor's house here in Poor in order to access these chests. White vest upgraded. Obtained white plate. Black vest upgraded. Obtained black plate. So that is going to be very handy for us, as we got some powerful armor that is able to absorb elemental damage. That is going to be very integral to us as we go further in our adventure. So I would definitely recommend equipping these. Though, I don't really have to worry about battles at the moment, so I'm not going to do that just yet. So now we're taking care of Poor. So we're going to want to head back to the Truce Inn, as well as over to Guardia Castle, in order to take care of the chests we left there. Yep, we can now grab this box over here. blue vest upgraded. Obtain blue plate. So I believe that has the ability to absorb water elemental attacks. So specifically, the vests are going to have less defense compared to the plate. So that is what you want to watch out for whenever you are dealing with this kind of stuff. Yeah, that's why I recommend waiting and doing this specific sequence of events so that you're able to handle all of the stuff to get the items upgraded. It is a pretty neat mechanic having to interact with something in the past so that it becomes stronger in the future. Just a very interesting mechanic in this game. I forget if there's something if we head over here. Nope. So that path is now blocked off and we are no longer able to access the time rift over there. I can't imagine why they would block that area off. Certainly nothing that we did. So the last time we were over here in Guardia Castle in the present day was when we were arrested for being suspected of being a terrorist and we had to make a quick getaway into the forest. So what's gonna happen if we come back here now? Princess Nadia! You had me worried, Princess! I understand your feelings, of course. The king places his realm above all else. It was the same even when your mother, Queen Eliza, passed away. What? Oh, child, please forget I spoke. Tell me! It's difficult to speak of even now. You see, Queen Eliza's condition had been frail for some time, but it took a sudden turn for the worse near the end. She desperately wanted to see her father just one last time. But your father refused, said he could not leave his work unattended. He left you, young, innocent, and knowing nothing of death, to watch over her alone. Naturally, the end was not long in the coming. She died soon after. One might well say the king killed her. Such a shame. Father? Killed her? Please, I speak too much. Do not let it trouble you, your highness. Now that you've finally returned, won't you go and see the king? So that is a lot to take in here. Just hearing about what happened to Marl's, or rather, Princess Nadia's mother. Certainly explains why she isn't around. So now that we actually have access to this castle, now that we're no longer a wanted fugitive, we're going to want to go around here and see what we're able to obtain inside the castle, now that we finally have access to this era. His Grace is deeply troubled by Princess Nadia. It's hard for a king to seek advice about family matters. I can imagine so. Don't mind me just looting all your stuff. Ooh, Haifer. After the death of Queen Eliza, Princess Nadia became His Grace's entire world. I mean, I can kind of imagine where the king is coming from. After losing his wife, he's become so overprotective of the one family member he has left. It's definitely a difficult situation for anyone to go through. Like, grief is definitely not something that is easy for people to get over. The Chancellor hired all the guards who manned the prison towers. Oh, really? The Chancellor may have been purposefully trying to influence His Grace's judgment in the courtroom. I'm Pierre, Royal Legal Counsel. The king has been terribly distraught since the princess ran off. It took some time, but I was able to convince him that no kidnapping took place. The Chancellor, on the other hand, he has been acting quite strangely. We were just discussing that now. So Pierre here was the one who was representing us in court. You did your best, man. It's not your fault we were found guilty. I mean, it was ours for stealing that guy's lunch and trying to sell the princess's amulet, but whatever. Those prison guards were an odd bunch. Even we would get cold stares from time to time. And those eyes. It's like they weren't even human. It was right around the time he ordered that dragon tank to be built. That was when the Chancellor started to act differently. So definitely getting a lot of observations from the people around here that something seems odd about the Chancellor. Which probably explains why he was so hostile to us when we first came over. We can see over here the path into the dungeon that we had previously been to is now blocked off. We can no longer go over there. But hey, it's not like the Chancellor was replaced by a giant cockroach like how things went in the Middle Ages, right? Preparations for the Millennial Fair's evening celebration are underway. The chief cook's ancestor served in the war against the Fiend Lord. Served food, I mean. As a wise man once said, can't wage war on an empty stomach. That is true. I knew I would be very uppity if I was in a battle and I didn't have anything to eat.
Who gave you permission to come in here? Out with you!
Sorry about my wife. The old lady runs the kitchens. Gotta tread softly around here. She knows how to cook a goose better than anyone. But she's also got a temper that'll cook your goose. Seems to run in the family. I don't think I've ever had a goose myself. Like, I know Canadian geese are a protected species in my country, so I think that'd be a bit of a faux pas to cook one up. We grab a turbo ether over here, and we got a chest here that's locked. There's not much we can do about that. So the turbo ether can fully restore MP. Now that is an item I highly recommend saving for endgame, because yeah, we're gonna need that. Hey guys, what are you doing here? Do you want to be put on trial again? No thanks. I'm just gonna go then. Alright, the kitchen's over there, and I don't believe there's anything else we need to worry about. So we can go up to the princess's room. Could be kind of nice to see a little bit of where our good friend Nadia used to live. We grab another turbo ether. Ooh, that's so good. I appreciate having that. Oh, hey there. Hello, I'm in charge of the princess's physical fitness.
I'm in charge of discipline. This latest incident's all my fault. I should have been more strict.
I'm the personal tutor in charge of Her Highness's education. It's kind of get to see some of the people that are responsible for maintaining the princess's stuff. And we also picked up something really good in her room. The Mega Elixir. Fully restores entire party's HP and MP. Now that is definitely an item you want to save for endgame. If your party is in really dire straits, it is a very useful item to get them back to full health. Alright, so now that we fully explored the castle, let's go talk to His Majesty, Princess Nadia. Oh, Nadia. What have you come here for? I thought you had no more use for this place. Don't you look at me like that. You're the one who stormed out of here and letting these hoodlums in here. You planning to cause some sort of trouble?
How can you say things like that? These are my friends!
Friends? You're a daughter of the line of Guardia. Consorting with their like is a disgrace to this family name.
It's true then. You really do care more about the kingdom than you ever cared about me or Mother.
What?
You killed my mother!
Get out! Do not show your face here again!
Don't worry! I won't!
Do as you please. You are not my daughter! Well, that was quite the scene. God, it cannot be easy for anyone getting disowned by your parent like that, especially with the situation that Nadia had to go through. Losing her mother, having to be enforced with this very strict regimen by her father. And then when you finally have a chance to speak up and call out your parent for all the abuse he's been putting you through, he just disowns you like that. God, it's rough. Alright, but now that we've taken care of all that business at the castle, I believe there is one more area we want to go to if we're going to get some good loot. And for that, we're going to want to head back to the other continent. Actually, while we're in this area, let's go talk to Taban. Ah, perfect timing! Obtain Taban's suit. We probably could have gone this way earlier on, but I just didn't do that. Oh, perfect timing. And we got Taban's helm. Hey, Luca. I've been working on some defensive gear for my favorite daughter. So by talking to him, we're able to get some equipment specifically for Luca. We can get Taban's suit, which is a definite upgrade over Taban's vest. This offers great defense, increases speed by 3, and halves fire damage. So yeah, that is definitely good for Luca to have. And Taban's helm increases defense and magic defense. That is some really good stuff for you. Luca, your dad may not be as brilliant as you, but he sure knows his way around a forge. Alright, let's head into the coastal vortex, as this is going to be one of our main ways of being able to head back into the Hekran cave. Because believe it or not, we do need to go here for something. So I believe this is going to lead out here. But yeah, there is something we want to grab in the Hekran cave, now that we have access to the pendant. So we're going to be looking around here a bit. And while we're just looking around, what is something else that we can talk about? So I've been having a pretty good break from work at the moment. In fact, I got the next 4 days off from work. So I'm definitely going to be spending this time to my fullest, just doing a bunch of stuff that I feel like doing. Namely, what I want to try to do pretty soon is I want to try and face the final boss in Minecraft, which for those that don't know is the Ender Dragon, which is certainly a pretty interesting boss encounter for a number of reasons, and I've actually recently seen a video of people fighting that specific boss, so I definitely got a good supply of knowledge on how I'm going to approach that specific fight. Alright, so this is what I was looking for. We can find a box over here. And accessing that, we get a barrier ring. Huh? There's something else in here. What in the world? We obtain a speed ring. So these are going to be some really good items for improving our stats. Speed ring will increase speed by 3, and the barrier ring will increase magic defense by 10. Definitely some really good items. If you feel like your characters could use some extra speed, yeah, we'll give that to Misty, given she's our healer. It's going to be really darn good for you. Not too worried about magic defense at the moment, though we are coming up to a point where we will be fighting some more magic enemies. So we'll definitely want to remember that. But for now, we managed to take care of everything we needed to around this area. And I actually want to make our way back to the continent where Medea is. So we're just going to head over here and double back out. But yeah, I've been in such a Minecraft mood over the last couple of days. Just been watching a lot of Minecraft videos and just been playing a lot of it myself. So I definitely want to tackle that particular game on this channel, and I think it would be pretty fun, since a lot of the appeal of Minecraft is doing things at your own pace. And with all the different updates that the game has received over the years, there is a ton of content we would be able to go over. So, you know, it would be pretty fun. So, now that we've returned to Medina after we have dealt with Magus, wonder what has changed around here. Oh, great Ozzy! Oh, great Ozzy! Ozzy the Great! Even those miserable sunny days abate when we see that lovely balded... whatever. So it seems that the fiends around here no longer worship Magus. After we defeated him in the Middle Ages, they've now turned to worshipping Ozzy as their leader. And given what we saw of the guy way earlier on in our adventure, probably not the best decision. That guy is a total whack job and not very skilled at all. Here is where I was thinking of. So we weren't able to access this area before. Your pendant, it's glowing. But now... Oh, hey, buddy. The seal is broken. I will give you a treasure crafted by the Guru of Reason himself. To your right is a weapon which will enhance your strength. To your left is protective gear which will guard your life. Think well and choose whichever you need the most. 13,000 years was a very long time. Belfazar, I go to you now. So now we have a choice of one of the items inside these chests. One of which contains a weapon, the other armor. I think I'm gonna go for the weapon. Obtained, Swallow. So this weapon is of course a sword. Offers way more power than anything we previously managed to obtain. And increases speed by 3. So yeah. We are just making Chrono quite the powerhouse here. And how about we equip one of the plates we obtained earlier? You already have an affinity for lightning, so I don't feel like that's going to be too useful. And obviously these plates are going to be really useful in the battles we're going to have against Specchio, since these are able to absorb his magic attacks. Definitely very handy for some of the later battles we're gonna do. Yeah, I don't really feel like equipping these just yet. Just because we're not fighting any elemental enemies at the moment, you know? So now we're taking care of the things of the forest ruins. That is just about everything we can do with our pendant now that it's been upgraded by the Mammon machine. There is one other area we needed to go in order to get the sealed chests, but we're not going to be able to access those for quite a while, so we're just going to forget about that. Alright, but the next thing we need to do is we gotta head back into the time of antiquity, so we're going to need to head back to the mainland. I mean, I could just use the time rift in order to get to our next destination here, but, you know, we've already been through this area before. Might as well just check it out again. Also pretty interesting when you return to this area that there aren't any more enemies around here. Well, I guess all the fiends that dwelled in this area just kind of disillusioned now that their leader has been defeated. So they really don't feel much motivation for wanting to attack humans that come by. So we're just gonna head into the water and we'll shoot back up to the mainland. Whee! So that was a fun little diversion. getting to explore a lot of areas we have previously seen, and got ourselves a ton of new equipment that's going to be useful to us. So now, it is time that we finally return to the time of antiquity. So for that, we need to hop into the Epoch. So an interesting thing with the Epoch is that we're able to travel to specific destinations in time. However, we're not able to choose where we end up. So if we go to the future, we end up back in Balthazar's workshop. And if you go to Cataclysm, that obviously brings you to the final battle against Lavos, which we don't need to do now. But yep, we got nowhere else to go but antiquity. Just give me a moment here. Just marking off all of the sealed chests we managed to get. Very good. So now that we are back here in the time of antiquity, we have been given our mission by Shala in order to rescue the Guru of Life, who, as it turns out, is Melchior, the very same man who helped us reforge the Masamune. Only, we're gonna have to go to a different spot in order to find him. So, let us go forward. So over here, we have this area unlocked to us now. This is Algedi, the village of the Earthbound. We Earthbound ones were banished from Zeal because we're possessed of no magical talents. Oh, that's a shame. Might I interest you in some goods? So the people around here have a couple weapons that could be useful to us. So we don't need to worry about buying the Zanmato now that we have the Swallow. But we can buy a Comet Bow for Misty, a Mega Blaster for Luca, the Megaton Arm for Robbie, and we can also buy a Radiant Blade for Frog. So that is quite interesting, as Frog really hasn't had access to a lot of weapons at this point. And it is slightly stronger than the Masamune. Yeah, I guess we can grab that for now. In terms of some other items we can grab. Yeah, Ayla could use the Luminous Robe. And then we'll grab the Radiant Plate for the boys. Oh, we don't have much money, actually. Yeah, we've been spending a lot on some of the equipment over here, so that's actually pretty bad. We could equip some helms, though. Yeah, we have enough money to buy some helmets. You know what? We actually don't need the Radiant Plate, since we already managed to acquire some really good armor. So, we're not going to worry about that. Let's go ahead and replace our Triceratopper. And we'll give you the red plate for now. We can swap around the different plates depending on what we need in any given moment. So, I'm not too worried about that. Alright, so, got the Radiant Blade for you, which is stronger than the Masamune. And we can go ahead and get rid of the hero's badge for the time being. So for Wart, we could definitely use... Oh, so this is interesting. So the Berserker Ring inflicts a character with the Berserker status, boosting their attack and defensive stats, but means that you cannot control their actions. Could be useful, but I'm not going to be using it myself. But yeah, for Wart, he's gonna see a lot of use out of just generally attack affecting items. We give you the Power Glove. So I think we don't have anything else that could give a boost to power. Could also give him the speed belt so that he can act quickly in battle. We'll go for the power glove at the moment. I feel like that's a good investment. Give you the radiant helm, and yeah, we'll give you the blue plate. Why not? Actually, let's swap that for the white plate. I feel like having items that match the character's element would be pretty nice. We give you a triceratopper, and you can take a luminous robe. You'll take the megaton arm, radiant helm, and let's give you black plate, since you have a dark affinity to you. Alright, that should be pretty good. So yeah, now if we look at the stats we get from some of our items. Oh, I forgot to equip their weapons. Hang on. So yep, that's a good upgrade to that. That's a good upgrade. And shouldn't have to worry about any other bits of gear. So now if we look at the stats we get from our items, yeah, Radiant Plate would have been a waste of money, since we already have better equipment with us. And then you, of course, have an opportunity to stock up on some other good stuff. I could recommend buying more high potions at this point, just because of the point in the story we're at, and we're getting to the point where characters are going to have a lot more health. So that could be quite useful. Also, good opportunity to stock up on Ethers. MP restoration is going to be pretty important going forward. Alright, let's sell some gear that we're not going to need at this point. Primeval Blade, we definitely don't need. Same with the Dreamstone items. And we'll go ahead and sell our stone helms. I think we could hold on to a Triceratopper. Actually, hang on. Yeah, you can go ahead and take that. Let's definitely need some more defense on our healer, obviously. And any item that is able to provide a boost to a specific thing would be nice. Don't need to worry about too much else. But yeah, definitely hold on to things like the various plates we just obtained, because those are really good. Mesozoic mail, though, we'll go ahead and get rid of that. So now we managed to get back a lot of good money. We could easily use that to buy some more items if we want. But I think we're pretty good at this point. Many inhabitants of this land were taken to build the Ocean Palace, and none were ever seen again. It's very sad to hear that the people in this area basically being used as slave labor by the Kingdom of Zeal in order to construct their weapons. The Queen has installed a Mammon machine in the Ocean Palace in an attempt to absorb Lavos' energy, but is there not peril in such a thing? The Guru of Life said as much, but it only led her to imprison him upon the Mountain of Woe. I fear there's little we can do. The Guru of Life said that young Lord Janus possessed power within him exceeding even that of Lady Shala. But then the Queen lost her mind, and the young Lord grew to hate that power and all the suffering it causes Lady Shala. Now he hides it, denies it, and shuts it from his thoughts. Poor kid.
When will Lady Shala come and play with us again? The three gurus and Lady Shala are near the only ones who do not treat us as inferior.
Also want to take a moment to praise the courage that Shala showed earlier when she was defying her mother by freeing us. Definitely shows the strength of her character as well as her kindness.
The mud beast then is dangerous. Shouldn't play around, dear.
Would you like to rest here for the night?
Yeah, I appreciate that, sir.
Thank you. So we got a little rest stop over here that we can do.
In times past, The enlightened ones and we earthbound ones lived as one. But then everything changed when the queen got corrupted by the power of Lavos. This tunnel connects to a mud beast's den, and beyond the mouth of the den lies the great chain that anchors the mountain of woe to the earth. The Guru of Light voiced opposition to the queen's plan, and so he was banished to the mountain of woe. So now we got our next destination. We have to rescue the Guru by heading to the mountain of woe. But first we'll want to grab a strength capsule, because that happened to be over here. And yeah, we're definitely giving that to ourselves. So we need all the power we can get over here. So here we got ourselves some enemies to deal with. Mud beasts. So these guys could be quite nasty, but we got ourselves a lot of people that can attack these guys, so we should be fine. So whenever you strike at the mud beasts, their attack power will increase, so you gotta kill them quickly, otherwise you're gonna be in trouble. But we should be fine here. So now we've taken care of those guys, we can press onward. Uh-oh, we got more. Alright, how about these two? You can use your combined magic against them. I feel like that's a good use of your abilities, girls. Nice! So we're able to two-shot them just with this team formation. And Luca gets a level up. Very good. Uh-oh. So we got some special enemies over here. You're not getting through here! So we got ourselves a new group of enemies here. Uh-oh. So we got an enemy that's gonna put enemies to sleep over here. So we'll want to take care of you first. Ow, but that hurt. But yeah, for this specific encounter, I recommend taking out the little guy first. Otherwise, your team could get really, really banged up. So I'm gonna have Luca cast Protect on Chrono so that he'll be able to take hits more easily here. Since we got ourselves a pretty tough spot over here with these guys. So they can be quite painful. I think I actually did lose to these guys way back when I first played this game. Also, the enemies here got some elemental affinity that you gotta watch out for. So I believe the red enemy will be immune to fire damage, and then the blue one will be immune to ice. However, you're able to damage them with their opposing elements. So, attacking the ice enemy with fire is a good call. Anyway, we definitely need to heal up because we are taking a massive beating against these guys. And that's another reason you want to take out the small fry, because he can heal the beasts. Okay, we're all healed up. We can go back to fighting this guy now. Take that! Come on, will you just die already? Such a little pain. Alright, can you go for a cleave? You need to heal up Chrono. Thinking we might want to attack with magic. Considering that physical attacks don't seem to be doing too much. Alright, let's go for a fire sword. And then you can cast haste on Chrono. I feel like that's a good idea. Let's get some more attacks in. Ow. Alright, Luca is definitely gonna need some healing in a bit. Oh, come on! Everybody is getting knocked around, and I do not like this. Okay, I probably want to heal up Marl after this. You know what? You go for lightning. I am so sick and tired of this guy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is probably one of my least favorite bosses in the game. It's just very annoying with how much these guys just keep damaging you. No, don't kill! God damn it! Just need you to survive a moment here, buddy. No, come on! You motherfucker! See, this is why I hate this fight. You got so many enemies just attacking you so much. Ugh. Alright, you two, fire sword the little guy. You heal Luca. There we go, he's dead. And when you take him out, the big guys go down too. Luca learned Fire 2. Very nice. So that is going to be stronger fire magic for Luca. So what I would like to do after this, let's check your abilities. Ooh, that's going to be real good. Well, it's going to be a while since we get that ability. So how about we swap out Luca for our buddy Wart. Get him some action here. But after clearing up that battle, we can finally access this big chain, allowing us to access the Mountain of Woe. Not exactly seeing the woe around here. This area has some pretty interesting enemies here. For one, we got Rubble, these big rock guys over here. So they have the ability Omni-Lock, preventing you from accessing your techs as well as items until you take out the enemy. which does seem pretty nasty. But the nice thing about those enemies is they give a ton of experience if you do manage to kill them. So that's something I recommend doing against these guys. Then, of course, we got some more birds as well as imps to deal with. Shouldn't be too bad considering all the other things that we've had to deal with around here. I'm almost tempted to go back to the village just to replenish our supply of MP, considering just all that we had to deal with. But we're probably going to be fine, all things considered. So we got that chest over there. So this area is going to have quite a number of things that we're going to want to grab. Luckily, I don't believe this area is going to be... Actually, considering some other things that are going to be happening... Yeah, I would probably recommend trying to grab everything around here your first visit. But it shouldn't take too long for us to get everything. Come on, you're not in range for a cyclone? Okay, fine. How about a lightning too? This is kind of the part of the game where I start to really think about what's the most efficient way for dispatching with our enemies. Which usually goes to picking very specific skills to try and target as many as possible. And with so many options we have available to us at this point, sure. Okay, I think we need to go over here if we're going to get that item. And I see another rubble that we're able to fight. Let's go take care of this guy. So yeah, it's a shame it does the Omni-Lock like right before you even have the ability to attack. And also another thing to note about these guys is they have pretty high evasion. So you definitely need to be careful here. So I believe we have an accuracy that increases our... We have an accessory that increases our accuracy. So that can be quite handy over here to deal with these guys. Yeah, I might go ahead and equip that accessory in a bit, because this is pretty nasty. We weren't able to kill it, so we don't get any reward for it. No bother. We get a platinum helm over here. Ooh. So that is better than the radiant helm we currently have, so we'll go ahead and equip that. Probably keep the power scarf on you. And the acuity ring will improve accuracy. So that could be good to have in this area, since the rubbles have pretty high evasion. Alright, but while we're going through this area, what is some other things that we can talk about? Considering that we're just going to be going through this whole area. Oh, come on. Ooh, very nice, Chrono. We get a level up for that, and Misty learns Ice 2, and learn Frost Arc Triple Tech. So that is a tech that combines the skills of this party, I believe. Yeah, Frost Arc strikes the enemies with an icy blade. That sounds really good. Why don't we test that out, since we have an opportunity to? Depending on how much MP we currently have. Alright, let's do this. Frost Arc! Look at that. so much damage there. So good. Uh-oh. So we got another enemy that is able to reduce a character to 1 HP in this area. So that we will want to watch out for. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and use a... Yo, we have so many ethers at this point. Gonna go ahead and use as much as we can on ourselves here. And since Misty just learned a new skill, how about we swap you for someone else? For how long are you to your next skill? That's gonna be quite a while. And Ward is already pretty close to a new skill. Very good. So let's bring in Ayla. See what she's able to do. So looks like we got a save point over here. It's very handy given the current spot we are at in this adventure. Alright, I definitely want to take out the devil guy first, since he's the one that has that one skill. And then we also have the boulder toss ability, which could be quite nice to see. With this, nah, that's not going to work because those guys are airborne. Yeah, I was worried about that. So that was a skill we picked up in one of the earlier sessions. We just haven't had an opportunity to get to use it yet. But that's fine. We have plenty of opportunities to use our character's skills. We are still quite a ways away from beating this game, so it'll be plenty fine. Ooh, we got another of these guys over here. Oh, yeah, that's going to get us a lot of good stuff there. Get a mid-ether, Wart leveled up, and learned Water 2. So that's definitely going to be helpful, as getting more magic on you is going to be very nice. Especially for some of the other battles we're going to need to deal with. And how far are you for your next skill? Ooh, Cure 2. That's going to be really good for one of the areas coming up, so I'm definitely going to want to get that. But let's swap you out of the party now for Robbie, because he hasn't had some action lately. We'll grab a shield sphere over there, and a platinum vest. So I believe that is going to be some gear. Which actually has better defense than the plate, at the cost of not being able to absorb elemental damage. At the very least, we can equip that for now, and then we can equip the plates later when I feel like they would be very useful. Of course, this chest is guarded by a bunch of guys. Alright, maybe we can actually show off the boulder toss skill. So this picks up an enemy and just chucks them. It's very cool. Definitely reminds me of a skill used by Sabin in Final Fantasy VI. Wait, now that I'm mentioning that particular game, that is a game I do want to get back to sometime soon. Especially because I'm very close to actually finishing the game. And I've actually made very good progress on getting all of the magic skills that I want on my characters. So we should be pretty good to take on the final dungeon pretty soon. And yeah, that should be definitely a fun time, finally getting a chance to do that. I love the touch that we're so high up in the clouds that the entire screen is very murky. It's definitely a nice touch, just showing how much this area is high up in the sky. Which is very on brand for this kingdom, you know? Take that, bird brain. Robbie gets a level up from that. And we get a lapis. Very good. It's always handy to pick up a good healing item. Oh boy, we got more of these jokers. Ooh, now that is a good skill we just got. So we now learned Frenzy. So that is a very strong physical attack on Chrono. Definitely one we're going to want to see some use of. Especially in a bit, considering that what we're going to be up against pretty soon. Oh, that is so good. Alright, we could test it out here. Now we have a chance. So, Frenzy. This is basically Chrono's strongest physical attack. Just does a massive flurry of blows against a single enemy. That is so freaking good. So yeah, that is definitely a move I can recommend using. It just decimates pretty much any non-boss encounter in the game. It's so good. And we get ourselves a level up. Very good. If we head down this chain, we can get over here. So, very recently, something that I've been having a lot of fun checking out recently is I've been seeing a lot of clips from the new King of the Hill reboot that has recently had another season come up, and a lot of the clips I've seen have been pretty interesting. Like, the original King of the Hill was a show I never really saw much of when I was younger, but these days I have a lot of respect for. Like, that show is amazing. And just a lot of the clips that I've seen online have given me a lot of appreciation for this show. And from what I've seen of the reboot so far, it's been a very interesting development. Like, I love seeing these older versions of the cast, especially characters like Bobby, and getting to see how much they have changed over time. It is just such a cool show. I'm really glad that they brought it back, and we get to see a new side of these characters. Especially with a lot of interesting developments for how things have been. Like, I know that there was one clip I saw that I feel that I'm just really happy for Hank specifically, given his career in life, and it just feels really cool to get to see him achieve something that we felt wouldn't be possible back in the original show, but the reboot finally giving him a chance to fulfill one of his lifelong ambitions. God, I'm so happy about that. Still not done with the Mountain of Woe yet. We can grab another lapis, so I appreciate having that. Oh goody, more of these punks. I can strike 2 of them over here, so I'm not too upset. And from that, Ayla learned Charm, and now we got the Boogie Dual Tech. So, that Dual Tech, I believe, is... not with this party. But yeah, that particular skill we got on Ayla. So, Charm... you have the ability to seduce an enemy to obtain an item. This basically makes Ayla a combination of a monk and a thief. That is very good. And we're definitely going to make good use of this skill in some of the battles coming up. Speaking of which, we got an opportunity for that here. Ow. It's got some nasty plant guys over here. So let us test out Charm and see what that's able to do. So these enemies are able to inflict Confuse on our characters. So that's definitely nasty. Oh no, they actually managed to get Ayla. I don't appreciate that. I do not subscribe to what you are selling. So I would really like a chance to show off Ayla's new ability because it's super helpful. Whatever, you two can just goof off while Robo takes care of this. Robbie gets a level up from beating those buffoons. Ah, dear God. Give everyone a heal beam, please, because we took a bit of a beating there. And we got even more of these toxic plants. Oh, goody. So I guess something else I can say is kind of relating to things I've been doing in my downtime, like playing Minecraft and all that. So very recently, I've been getting really into playing Dr. Mario for whatever reason. And I've just been having a lot of fun playing that in my downtime in between, like, work and other stuff that I tend to be doing around the house. And it's been a fun time with that. And I've actually been kind of entertaining the idea of possibly doing a stream where I just spend like an hour or two just playing Dr. Mario, see how far we get, you know? I feel like that'd be a neat little idea. And hey, it's not like I haven't already done some stupid ideas for streams before. Just look at my Blue Dog stream I did way back. We have these guys. How about we finally test out Charm now that we have an opportunity? So with this skill, Ayla's, of course, able to steal items. Obtained a heavy hand. That's interesting. So you're able to get quite a few neat items from enemies this way. You could steal potions, you can get pretty elusive gear that you wouldn't be able to obtain otherwise. It's all quite nice. Ah, geez, my controller disconnected for a second. I don't know if it's because of the battery or what, but yeah, if things start getting bad, I might want to change our batteries. Thankfully, I did purchase a couple spares earlier, so I shouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah, let's look at that item we just picked up. Heavy hand. So I believe that is a weapon for Robo. So that could be nice to get to show off here. So yeah, that is... whoo, increase attack power by a lot. So yeah, definitely try to use Charm on as many enemies as you can, because you get some really good swag that way. And then we got these guys to worry about. Why not? Let's go for another charm, see if we can get something else. So that gave us another heavy hand. Okay, we're probably not gonna steal anything else from these guys if they're just gonna give us that weapon. But you know, it's very nice that we have this available to us. As I said before, try to steal items from as many enemies as you can, even common ones, because you can probably get yourself some really good stuff. Alright, so I believe at this point we are actually at the end of this area. And thinking about what I want for this, I feel like I want to go with this party formation. I feel like this would be pretty handy. Alright, let's use our shelter to fully heal up. And then we should be good. Alright, let's do this. Oh, we're not at the end just yet. Oh, hang on, my controller's having trouble again. Okay, I definitely feel like the battery's about to die, so just give me a second. I'll take care of this. Okay, I just put some new batteries in my controller. Thankfully, I did not need to charge them with the Mammon machine. And we should be good. We get a time hat, and... What? What just happened? The game just crashed on me. What the hell? Just give me a second. We should be fine. We just saved, so we should be fine here. Yeah, the game crashed when I tried to access the menu there. Very weird. Okay, I just reloaded, so we should be fine. Alright, so Time Hat increases defense and prevents stop and slow. So that's definitely going to be handy here for what we're going to be up against later on in this game. So I'm definitely going to take that. And then over here, you can grab a high ether, and you can also pick up a magic capsule. Alright, so let us use that on... Yeah, Robbie could use more magic. That improves his healing, after all. So we'll grab that, and then we'll go forward. It's at the top of this very big chain. We have found where the Guru of Life is imprisoned. It fades away before our eyes. We got ourselves a new boss here. So this guy has 2 hands, and boy does he know how to use them. Alright, so for this guy, we have various targets that we need to hit. His hands will be very important for us to take down first, so we'll be striking them. And of course, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. Thankfully, we got a party that has some good healing ability, so we should be able to weather this. Oh, I do not like this. Aw, man, can I take a mulligan on this? Because he's already wiped out so much of our party here. Alright, can I wait for you to do your attack there? Alright, if you can revive Chrono, then he can use his ability to heal Frog. Or you can take that magic attack and get killed immediately! God! Yeah, I definitely think I'm gonna need a do-over here. This guy is just being really mean. There is nothing I can do. He just kills my characters after I revive them. God, that sucks. Ugh. So I believe if I hit resume, this should take us to the last room that we were previously in. So if I resume from here, yep, this takes us back to the boss arena. Good God. So before I go forward, I want to change up my equipment, considering what this guy was doing to us. So we need equipment to absorb damage. He's able to attack with a variety of elements, so having something that could absorb all the different elemental types would be very effective. So I think that should be good. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, now we can fight this guy properly. Probably gonna go with Frenzy there. But yeah, this guy is very nasty. He can attack with both of his hands, doing magic damage that can just devastate your party if you're not prepared. So I would recommend using Frenzy with Chrono to do a ton of damage. You want to make sure you have characters that have good healing abilities. And you want to target the hands first and foremost. So you can obviously tell this fight has a very similar feel to the defense drone that we fought much earlier on in the game. We have to take out smaller targets before you can take out the big one. So we managed to take out the first of its hands. So let's go for an aerial strike on that one. Alright, we're still not done with the hands. It also has the ability to have a character's HP, because of course it can. Alright, there it goes. Now the hands are down, we can strike the main body. So what I like to do is focus on triple attacks against the head to maximize the amount of damage we're able to do. Its defenses are lowered because its arms are gone, so we can just strike the head and not have to worry about that. Okay, the hands are back. Ward, you can go ahead and heal us. So I believe the hands do come back with less HP after they're restored. So that could be a good thing to remember with this fight. Alright, we're getting a bit low on MP with Chrono, so we'll switch over to Cleave. Alright, that takes care of the hands again. So let's go for triple attack. This is why I want to go with this party. Between them having a devastating triple attack to attack the head with, and having multiple different healing options, I feel like this would be a very optimal party for fighting this boss. Oh, the arms are going to come back in just a second. Come on! Alright, the arms are back. That's fine. I wanted to mainly focus on healing at this point anyway. So Chrono, you can attack that guy. We're going to want to heal up, and then I'll use Robbie's turn to restore Chrono's MP. This fight can definitely use up your resources between the various different attacks it can do. And because it has so much health that you gotta deal with. Yeah, and you can go for a Dark Ether, I believe. That should be fine. I mean, what am I saying here? Never mind. Just hack this guy's hands to pieces. Also, I love how intimidating this frickin' boss's sprite is, but then you look at its face and it just looks like it's pogging. Just a very humorous image, you know? Alright, shouldn't have too much trouble from here on out. We got a pretty good rhythm now that we're not being blasted. And there it goes. Alright, that went way smoother the second time around. Yeah, that thing is nasty if you're not prepared. That's why I recommend picking up the plates that you can find in the sealed chests. They make this fight so much more bearable with the energy absorption. And look who it is. Sir Melchior? Indeed, I am none other. But how do you know my name? I do not believe we met. More pressingly, what of the Queen and the Ocean Palace? Do you know what has happened? I see. The Queen's mind has already eroded to that extent. It seems the more energy the Mammon Machine absorbs, the further the Queen descends into madness. The immortal Lavos is overtaking her soul from within his slumber beneath the waves. We must flee! The seal is broken! It will bring down the mountain! Come, make haste! Elder, the mountain, whoa! Mama, the mountain's falling! Oh, that's not good. Really wish we had the Master Emerald right now. Lavos sleeps deep underground, consuming the energy of this planet. Brought so near, the Mammon machine could very well awaken him. We must hurry before it is too late. Elder, Lady Shala is here. What? Shala? Lady Shala, why have you come to such a miserable place?
Do not degrade yourselves. We enlightened ones were once the same as you. The only difference is that we are now puppets of Lavos. Such a filthy place! Melchior, when the mountain fell, I knew I would find you here.
But is it safe for you to leave the palace?
Whether it's safe or not no longer matters. The Ocean Palace is complete.
Then all is lost.
Not all. Without me, the Mammon machine is no more than a vessel. I will not activate that evil thing again. I've kept the Skyway open. Please, you must stop my Lady Mother.
My dear.
Dalton!
It would be quite an inconvenience if you failed to activate the machine. Dalton, leave her alone! Ah, the fossil speaks. Be silent. Ah! You'll come to the Ocean Palace with me. Cause any trouble in your life is, well, I will bear no responsibilities.
Shala!
None of the Queen's brats know their place, do they? Oh, let's not be hasty. I'd be more than happy to take the life of this little pearl. I do not fear the Queen. Shall we be on our way, Shala dear? Your mother is waiting. Ha 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 ha! Oh boy. Melchior! I am all right. But we must rescue Shala, or there will be terrible consequences. There's no hope of rescuing her, not even for you, Melchior. If the Queen's plans come to fruition, there's no hope for life as we know it. You would go and stop her? My pardons. You risk your life for us time and time again, and I do not even know your names.
You have already helped us. Now we are returning the favor.
Whatever are you talking about? Hayden, let us make haste. Wait, take this with you. It's made from the same red stone as the Mammon machine. With it, you should be able to destroy the thing for good. Obtained the ruby knife. Thank you, Melchior. My pardons. You risk your life for us time and time again. I do not even know your names. Lady Shawl abducted, but without magic we're helpless to save her.
So this Melchior is indeed the very same Melchior we know in the year 1000 AD. But rather it's a younger version of him than the one that we encountered before, which is why he does not recognize us. Very interesting little development here, wouldn't you say? So we're gonna go ahead and heal up at the little hideaway. And then I feel like we are about at the end of this session here, considering all that we have been through, and it's just about an hour and a half into this session. I mean, we have already been through so much already, so this definitely feels like a good stopping point after everything that has happened. I hope Lady Shaw is still alive. Me too. Young Lord Janus made for the Skyway to save Lady Shala. So yeah, things are definitely getting intense over here.
So we managed to help out Melchior, but Shala has been taken back to the palace in order to be used to activate the Mammon machine so that they can awaken Lavos and extract the monster's power. The situation is just getting more dire by the minute. So I'm going to go ahead and make our way over to just about the entrance to the palace, and then I feel like we're going to end things here. Okay, this seems like a good point as any to call it for this session. So yep, we definitely have a lot we gotta do next time, which should be in a couple of days. Don't worry, we'll get to that pretty soon. But yep, the next time we come back to Chrono Trigger, we're gonna make our way to the Ocean Palace, and we're gonna do our best to stop Queen Zeal. Until next time, have a good day, and take care, everyone.